Hi everyone, this is Victor again, Facade. I just wanted to quickly give you one more tip I forgot to mention on the main tutorial, and that's about how to speed some of these elements up in case they're not fast enough for you. So let me show you real quick. I'm just going to go into this layout 2 as an example. So I'm going to double click on layout 2, and I'm going to focus on this one circular here array, which is circular array 12. So let's say if we play him, I'm going to put this to third resolution here, just so we can get this to play a little faster. We play him, and he kind of he's not playing fast enough for you. Okay, a couple of options to do to speed him up, or speed it up. Sorry, it's not a him, it's an it. So this is probably too slow, let's say, so you want to speed it up. So the easiest thing to do, and what I would recommend, so you don't go digging into the actual root file for the circular array, is just to select your your layer, and then right click on it and go to time, enable time remapping. Okay, when you do that, let me pull this back a little bit. You're going to get two keyframes. Some of you may know what time remapping is. If you don't, you'll get two keyframes, and these two keyframes represent time. This is the starting of the time, and here's the end of the time. If you move these closer to each other, move the last keyframe closer to the first, it's going, especially what I just did now, I kind of moved it halfway through, it's going to go twice as fast now, okay? So this is 2 times the speed. So we'll see here when I preview this, it's going to be pretty fast. I'm going to just play it now. As you can see, it's twice as fast. So if you want to even make it faster, just pull it in closer, and that's probably about 4 times as fast there. So we'll play that one more time, preview it. Now everything is really fast. You can see even the numbers up here are super fast. Okay, so that's the best way to, and the easiest way that I suggest to speed these up. And the alternative is, if you want to slow it down, is you pull this keyframe out to the right. So you can't see it here in the video, but if I pull this way out and you want to slow it down, that's the way you would slow it down. So this is going to be even slower, and let me just play this back for you. You'll see that's going to be a lot slower. Okay, so that's the first way to do it. Now if you want to really get fine-tune this, I didn't build controls to like slider controls for these, because there's a lot of expressions and you would have like a ton of sliders that would have to control these. So this is the easy way to do it. Now if you want to go in there and tweak this even more, maybe you don't want these like the actual numbers to go faster, you would have to double click inside the array, get rid of the time remap that we just put on there. If we go back, let me just get rid of this. You can just unclick, get rid of it by getting rid of that stopwatch. It's gone. So I'm going to double click, and then here, let's minimize this a little bit, or there you go. Now here, this one, for example, is made up of a ton of expressions. Well, not a ton, I guess, just about 12 or so. But each one of these has, these say circle 35, 34. All these are referring to these, to the actual, what makes up the actual array. So I'm going to select just a couple of these. I'm going to select circle 35 and press U on the keyboard. You press U, that'll bring up your expressions. Let me just minimize that. So this is a loop out expression, and let's say I'm going to also solo this one out by pressing on this little button here. Alright, let's pick a different one. This is hard to see. Let's go with this outer ring, circle 33. Alright, so I'm going to press U on the keyboard to show the expression in the keyframes. And this says wiggle 0.4. So this is referring to frequency and amplitude. The first number is frequency, the second number is amplitude. So if you want to make this faster, you would have to make this number, let's say, let's try, instead of 0.4, let's go with 5. And you'll see that this one, play this real quick, we went from 0.4 to 5, and now it's going super fast. So you can see, let me play that back now. See, that's just really fast. Okay, so you would have to go in here and mess with these numbers in here. Let me put this back to 0.4, and let me find a different one. This first one that we couldn't really see, I'm going to unsolo that and solo the first one that I selected, but I'm going to zoom in this time. This one has a different expression on it. This is a loop out expression, which just loops in and out, back and forth. It's called ping pong, so it goes back and forth and does the same thing. So this one grows, as you can see there. Let me unselect that. Let me hide this one so we can focus in here where it says loop out ping pong. So this just scales up and down. So here, if you want to make this one not as fast, not much you can do to the ping pong here, but you can, let's say you want this to be a little slower, you can pull the last keyframe out a bit, and then this will scale in and out a lot slower. Okay, so let me preview that, and now you'll see that it's definitely a lot slower, probably like 10 times as slow as it was before. Okay, so all I did was pull out the keyframe on this one. So there's wiggles in here, like the one you just saw, the wiggle expression. I mainly use that for the rotations, for like all the rings, and then you have the loop out ping pong expressions that are for scales and whatnot. So each one has different expressions on there. But that's how you would basically speed these up. I would suggest the first way, using the time remit method. It's a lot easier, and those numbers will be going a little faster and whatnot. But all in all, I think your eye pays more attention to the video. It does pay attention to all the little elements, but it all comes together, and you won't notice those little the little numbers too much. You'll notice more of the arrays themselves and whatnot. So anyway, I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, like I said, please contact me, and please, if you have a second, please feel free to rate my file. If you like it, please rate it. I would really appreciate that, and thank you again. This is Victor. Bye.